times knocking upon your front door.
I'm coordinated with the background here.
Yes. We're color coordinated here on Make Your Day Richer, and all thanks to Ella Clarke. Good morning, Ella.
Good morning, Rich. Great to
are
be with you.
Are you doing well?
Yes, I am doing really well. I am doing really well.
You have, this is like true artist. You're an author, but you have found a way to bring together and create something because you couldn't find it yourself. So I want to talk about two things. One, the Writer's Nest, and then your summit that you are putting together, working tirelessly for in November. But let's talk a little bit about you as an author for a minute and kind of how you got to this point. Can you tell everybody about your kind of journey into being an author and the books you have?
Absolutely. So I am an urban fantasy author. And I am urban fantasy because a couple of things. So my degree is in chemistry and mathematics, go figure.
Of course.
So I have this really logical brain, but then I have this really creative side. So I kind of think with both sides of my brain. So I like to take the real and merge it with the what if. So the what if is what makes me be an urban fantasy author. I like to take very real places, things that happen in these real places, and put a paranormal spin on them and make people go, did that really happen that way? Wow. I love doing that. So that's how I became an urban fantasy author. And it just came from a love from when I was very young. I'm just a very avid reader. And I love to just intake, especially fantasy. And I think my love for writing coupled with my love for reading and not always seeing the kinds of stories or the kinds of outcomes that I wanted in a book, I was like, you know what? I could write that better. I could do it better than it. So I started writing the stories that I really wanted to see.
Oh, wow.
Honestly.
And when did your first book come out?
My first book that you will no longer find anywhere. And that is very intentional because I will say my first foray into writing, publishing a work, I think was not done well because you don't know what you don't know. And it was back in like 2010.
Okay.
2009, 2010. I won't say what the name of that book was because if you look hard enough on the web, you probably can find it. So
we don't recommend it because why go back to the bad stuff, right?
We're looking forward, we're not going back.
Yes.
So that was my first foray into writing. But the book that launched my urban fantasy series, The Guardian Odyssey, came out in 2019. Oh, wow. So it is a complete rewrite of the first book that I did back when and relaunched that series in a very professional way after the writing journey was completed. Well, not completed. The writing journey was relaunched based on a lot of knowledge that I gained in those years in between. Lots of pitfalls, lots of getting taken advantage of in the publishing industry by vanity publishers, by supposed PR people, marketing people, fake companies, it was an entire journey that launched me into not only publishing the correct way, but also into thinking about how I could bridge the gap and pull information together for writers, new and emerging, that are walking in the path that I had to figure out pretty much by myself.
Yeah. I mean, when you're kind of ahead of the curve, probably you're the one that's breaking down all the twigs for everybody else to get through the forest. That's sometimes really tough, but you come up with then such a great idea and product. And I know we were talking earlier that you were going to a lot of different conferences for authors, and you were finding again that like you didn't find what you needed. And so you have created something that you also needed for other people. Can you talk about the INKpreneurs Summit?
Absolutely. And I do, and I still do attend lots of book conferences every year. And I will say that being on a always learning, always developing journey is something that everyone should do. I don't care how long you've been writing, how long you have been in the industry. You always want to stay current with the trends. You want to stay current with tools, all those wonderful things that help you be successful in the
Which is
publishing.
interesting because you think like writing a book, I'm going to sit down at a computer and write a book, and then I'm going to publish but
There's so much to it.
Yeah.
There's so much more to it. So the INKpreneurs Summit is one of those things that I feel was a gap in the industry. So I've, like you said, I've been to a lot of book writing conferences, and they're usually very focused on your writing craft, which is awesome. Specific genres sometimes, some marketing thrown in, but I've never been to a conference that tries to capture the entire ecosystem, number one. Number two, focused on your development as an independent creative. And that's what the INKpreneurs Summit focuses on, is the independent creative. There are many ways you can go about publishing. You might want to go the traditional publishing route. You might want to do partner publishing. You might want to go the vanity publishing route, which is not bad as long as you know how to vet the right kind of partners. Networking is essential. It's all about who you know in the industry. So bringing together industry professionals, new and emerging creatives, and all those businesses that touch the publishing ecosystem under one umbrella for learning, development, growth, and especially networking is something that I have not seen all in one conference. And that is what the INKpreneurs Summit is all about in November in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I am so excited that we're pulling great industry experts, including yourself, Rich. And
that's why you're here today. You want
awesome.
to announce some of the people who are going to be at this conference speaking?
Absolutely. So the wonderful Rich Wilmore and Make Your Day Richer podcast professional will be there. And I am so excited because Rich is also offering podcast slots to our registrants, which is awesome. That's one of the things, the exposure that new and emerging creatives usually don't have. It's an awesome opportunity. We have a wonderful, wonderful book to film filmmaker, screenwriter that is going to come and share his knowledge. The awesome actor, producer, James Quinn will be there to share with our audience. We have a great fantasy author, Misty Massey, will be there, and she is amazing teaching world building and character development, and she's also an acquisitions editor, so for multiple small publishing houses. So she has a vast amount of knowledge to spread to our registrants as well as business moguls. We have Hyper Niche Consulting that will be there to teach how to set yourself up as an LLC, the proper way to do taxation, the proper way to set yourself up with a bank account, and to make sure you're doing everything in a really good legal way. And for all of our children's book enthusiasts and authors and illustrators and aspiring in that vein, we have Timmy Bauer from Dinosaur House, Dinosaur House Publishing. He will be with us as well. So his great expertise in children's book publishing, he will be there to share his knowledge. And he also is a great marketer, and he has this great new platform called Bookstrap Your Boot Tour. I cannot wait to sit in on that session, because as independent authors, writers, we don't often know. We get the book done and it's done extremely well, but then there's the marketing piece.
And what?
How do I get the word out that I have this great product that I want to share with the world? So very excited to have him be there. A couple of people I still can't announce just yet. We're still in the contract phase, but we have an awesome self-published author, extremely successful, that we're hoping, fingers crossed, that he will be able to come and share with us all the tips and tricks on how to do self-publishing successfully and be a New York Times bestseller using the right tools, the right marketing approaches, just the whole 9 yards. So fingers crossed that we can get him, as well as a social media expert. So those last two will round out our speakers crew, but I am super excited. Oh, Laboo Publishing. Almost forgot. Laboo Publishing. So those of us who like, and that's not me, sorry, that like to read like memoirs and just the nonfiction, self-help, Christian, though. Laboo Publishing, absolutely amazing. Kimberly Laboo will be there to share with us regarding nonfiction publishing, as well as to talk about anthologies. Anthologies are so important in building your author platform, and it kind of takes the pressure off to write like full-length novels. So a lot more to come in regards to anthologies and how you can partner with the Writer's Nest, parent organization of INKpreneurs Summit.
Well, and this, and I want to talk about the Writer's Nest, but I want, like, when you reached out about the summit, the thing that I loved about it is, especially as, you know, an independent creator, a solopreneur, whatever you want to call that type of person, you can go to a different conference or go to a different Zoom something every day to learn different parts of how to do your business. And then you spend your entire time learning and not being able to do business. And what you've done is put together everybody in one space. So you can go there and feel like you are going to learn something about how to actually run the business side of it into the creative side of it all in one space. And it gives me goosebumps, because
absolutely,
it's so hard. It's so hard to do it on your own, and you're giving people access to it. And so I want to thank you for putting this together, and not just, and then having me come is icing on the cake.
Incredibly excited about it. And two aspects of the INKpreneurs Summit that we have not talked about yet is, number one, Authors Alley. And Authors Alley is actually for the independent businesses that cater to the creative community. So we will have a slew of vendors that offer services that you need, including a professional photographer, so that individuals can have a professional headshot done with 3 different poses, digital, handed to you. Same day services will be there. The business consulting folks will be there. We'll have just a plethora of people that will be there to help you take your business, your independent creative self, to the next level. In addition to that, we'll have the Fresh Ink Pavilion, which is a pavilion for new and emerging authors to showcase their books and to have an opportunity to sell. One thing that the big conferences usually do not offer is a space for new and emerging authors. They want the big time guys that have 10, 15 books out so they can pack a venue. This is an opportunity for that person that may only have 1 book to get in front of a audience of people. And both Authors Alley and the Fresh Ink Pavilion are going to be free and open to the public the entire duration of the summit. So it won't just be the registrants there, but the city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that's going to cater to Authors Alley and the Fresh Ink Pavilion. I am so excited about the opportunities that we're giving everybody.
What a great I feel like you have thought of every possible way to make it.
I've absolutely tried to. I'm
Yeah.
sure there'll be a ton of things that as we brainstorm with these great industry professionals that are coming, as we brainstorm through this, I am so positive that we'll come up with even more great ideas to
Mhm.
incorporate for the summits to come. But I think we have done an amazing job putting together an amazing event for 2024. And I just can't
Absolutely.
wait for this premiere event to kick off November 1st.
How do people get tickets?
Tickets, head over to INKpreneursSummit.com. So I know that is a mouthful. So it's INKpreneurs, PRENEURSSUMMIT.com.
Okay.
INKpreneursSummit.com. And I will say, if you go to INKpreneursSummit.com, you're going to get this lovely pop-up that will give you 10% off if you head over to the Writer's Nest and join the Writer's Nest community. We haven't talked a lot about it, but we can in just a bit. You'll get a 10% off, and early bird registration is open until September 30th. So you can get quite a discount for registering over the next 30 days.
And so make sure you do that right now so we can all see you in November in Winston-Salem. And then you also have created the Writer's Nest, which I want to talk about because another way of connecting people. And I'm always, I don't know, I'm just so happy when people are creating things that connect other people.
Absolutely. And that's what the Writer's Nest is about. And I will say I had some pushback when I said I wanted to name this community the Writer's Nest. It was like, oh, that's not creative enough. Oh, that's, it's probably been done before. But when I thought about what was needed, what the gap was in the industry, everything kept pointing back to a safe space. And a safe space to me was the Writer's Nest. So that's why the Writer's Nest community, it stuck, it resonated with me, and I think it will resonate with a lot of the publishing ecosystem. So the Writer's Nest is just what I said, a safe place to learn, to grow, and to develop. So in the Writer's Nest, there are multiple rooms. Rich has been in there and getting engaged, which is awesome. And that's what we want. We want high engagement in the Writer's Nest, but it's to ask questions. It's to share ideas. It's for learning. So our members will throw a question in and say, hey, what do you do to promote a new book? I'm a new and emerging author. What that does is it gets my coaches and trainers on, hey, let me put together a quick learning for this member that needs some tips on how to promote my book. So that quick learning pops up in the room called Inside Alley in the Writer's Nest, because we want to make sure that we're responding to our community. And I call it a safe space because social media can tend to be a little cantankerous when new and emergings ask questions. In the Writer's Nest, there is no bad question. There's no dumb question. There's no question like, oh, you should know that, or just look it up on Google. We're going to share ideas and we're going to help each other out. So the Writer's Nest is going to have a solid learning platform. Inside Alley for tips and tricks. We'll run some parts of the conference, the summit, through there, like agendas will pop up in there. It's a really good, solid, closed space for our community to engage and interact with people. And you might need an editor. Hey, you can look through the members of the Writer's Nest and say, oh, this person is an editor. I can reach out directly to this editor because I need some help. Same thing with publishers. And so we are creating our own little ecosystem in the Writer's Nest to help each other out.
I think that's so smart because I think people are starting. Remember back in the day when you would go on like whatever website and they would have a message board and you'd interact with all the people. I think that's the way it's going to go again when people are going to start getting off Facebook and social media platforms.
Exactly.
And so I think
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. And I think putting everyone in there like that to learn from each other and to be able to
engage,
find people that they need. Yeah, so smart. Outside of coming to the summit November 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem and joining the Writer's Nest, what are like 3 tips you can give writers that are starting?
I will say, number one, always be willing to invest in yourself. If you are serious about being a successful creative, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. And when I say invest in yourself, always be willing to learn, develop, and grow. And do it in a safe space, because you can find free information on Google. It's not vetted. You don't know who's posting it. You don't know if it's a reliable source. And getting in a space where like minds are together and you know they're industry professionals is critical. I absolutely say that's the number one thing, is willing to be able to invest in yourself. Number 2 is always learning. The industry moves so fast. Like literally, it's been less than 6 months ago that I redid the covers of Reborn, the first book in the Guardian Odyssey series. And then I go to a conference 2 months ago and find out that fantasy is going away from putting covers, character images on covers for fantasy books, and moving back towards, more foil covers and, abstract kind of art. And I was like, oh, well, great. So you've got to stay connected to what's going on, the trends and all of those things that are going on in the industry. So you always got to be willing to stay open to learning and continuous learning. And the third thing I will say, for anybody just starting out, it's huge to start to build your author platform. And I found out that that's critical. If you want to be taken seriously, you can't just do, one book and stop and just wonder why nobody's buying it. Nobody's, paying attention to your Facebook and your TikTok post, because they want to see more than just buy my book, buy my book, buy my book.
Yeah. You've
got to take the time to invest in building out your social media platforms. Literally take time to, even if it's just a landing page, get a website, buy your domain. Like literally, if your name is John Smith, buy johnsmith.com, authorjohnsmith.com. People take you more seriously than when you're trying to kind of peddle stuff with a Gmail or Yahoo address. You got to take time to build out your brand. And if you don't know what that is, come on, hop over into the Writer's Nest community and find out all the great ways to build out your brand. Get more than one product out there. Like I said, anthologies is a big thing. It's an easier way to get your name in a bunch of publications very quickly, so that you can have more than one title under your belt. So building out that author brand, I would say, is the third thing. And there are a number of ways to do that.
And when you come to the INKpreneurs Summit in November, 1st and 2nd in Winston-Salem, there are about 3,000 other things you'll also learn. So make sure you get your tickets, and we'll see you in November.
Absolutely. So excited.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for asking me to come. I'm so excited to be there and to meet everybody. It's going to be a really, really good weekend.
I'm super excited that we were able to get you, Rich, to come to the INKpreneurs Summit in November.
I'm not that busy. I'll do it this weekend if you don't have anything else to do.
Special.
Yes. We will be right back after this, everyone. Thanks, Ella.
Thank you.
A Head in the Count Productions is your go-to partner for all things creative, offering exceptional videography, photography, editing, and copywriting services. With a proven track record of delivering high-quality content, we excel at handling projects of any size or complexity with ease. Our team is dedicated to bringing your vision to life, ensuring that every detail is executed with precision and creativity. From concept to final product, A Head in the Count Productions works seamlessly to craft content that resonates with your audience. A deep commitment to excellence, combined with an ability to adapt to any challenge, is what makes us the perfect choice for businesses seeking top-tier creative solutions. A Ahead in the Count Productions, provoking thought through film.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday, happy Labor Day. I hope you all are having a great day, or you do have a great day. It's still early if you're watching this live. But if you want to be on the show and advertise, like Ahead in the Count Productions, send us an email at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com. We'll get you hooked up. You can be on the show every day. People will hear about you. It'll be really, really fun. And since we're celebrating 26,000 views and downloads of the show, you might want to get on here now. Okay. I watched a really good movie from Amazon this weekend, and it's based on a book called Holding the Man. It was written in 1994, but about this guy's love affair in the 1970s. And he fell in love in high school with this other boy, and their 15-year courtship through all of the AIDS epidemic and crisis and family. And it was so well done, well acted. And it was a really, really tear-jerking, great movie. I cried way too many times during that movie. But if you haven't seen it, I think it's on Amazon. And it's called Holding the Man. It's based on a book. And I really want to read the book now because I'm sure it's fantastic. But go watch that movie. And let me know what your thoughts were. Gut-wrenching. Okay, here we go. Our Rosie moment of the day is the Grease soundtrack. She was her first Broadway show, 1994. Billy Porter. You all know who Billy Porter is. He's gone on to be super famous. Megan Mullally was in this from Will and Grace. She played Karen, and this is the soundtrack. And I listened to it way too many times. I think I've only seen the actual movie like twice, but this I have seen or listened to many, many times. All right, go enjoy your Labor Day. Go make your day richer by doing that. On tomorrow's show, another brand new show live right here with Chad Potts from the RevRx podcast. And we're talking about wellness. And it's a really, really, really great show. It's going to be a great show. Chad Potts is here tomorrow, so don't miss that. I will see you all tomorrow. I love you, and I wish you all the luck today. I hope you're not working. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.